Hello everybody, my name is Christian Charlo. Welcome to our market report. Today we're on Wednesday, April 17. Today folks, I want to make a follow-up because markets are continuing to go down, especially on the resources sector. So I'm going to make a follow-up on the last chronicle where I talked about what trade to watch for next week. Well, mostly last week we were talking about sectors that were underperforming in American markets and where there were shorter bull opportunities. Well, if you shorted those stocks last week when we talked about them, today it's a moment to cash in, especially with this decrease on the market. So let's take a look, for instance, at the TSX. The first time we talked about this market report last week was on April 12th, and we're saying, look, there's some downward momentum on the TSX though, so there's some shortable opportunity. Not on the gold though, it's too late on the gold, but there are some opportunities to short. And you see here the TSX ever since April 12th has lost about more than 300 points. So it's continuing to go down, and a lot of stocks in the TSX are actually good to take some profit, especially short positions that you have. On the gold, when we're talking about April 12th, we're expecting a technical rebound within that corridor here. But it didn't happen because China GDP growth reading came out lower than estimates. So we went further down. So that's why I was telling you, look, watch bearish ETF and also a bullish ETF just in case we have a rebound there on the gold spot price. So we went lower than that downward corridor, and now the point where we are is actually at an important support on October 2010. What we found here is that during October 2010 here around this support, the volume by price, which measure is like the price that were here, the volumes that were there were actually pretty big. So this here, there were a lot of volume, and that shows us that actually the price here was really an important support. So the volume by price indicator indicated that around this area we had a high volume by price index, and you see here now we're testing it, and actually we're having a slight intraday rebound. It's hard to confirm that on the gold spot price we're having a bottom now, but what you should watch is still bearish and bullish ETF. For instance, GLL as a bearish ETF on April 12th. If you bought it, well, you made a lot of money, so you can cash in right now on GLL if you bought it. But right now you see that GLL, it's reaching its overbought situation, so we're eventually due for a slight rebound on the gold. You have UGLD that you should watch and UGL, simply because technically speaking we are at a point on the gold spot price where we're testing that important support, and unlike the mining sector on the gold, we have seen the rebound that was able to slightly maintain itself. So actually watch bullish ETF like UGLD and UGL in the gold. On the SPY, well, we have a correction of the market that continued ever since April 12th, but now we're testing the support here. So I have not yet reversed this upward trend on the SPY, so there are not tons of shortable opportunity. We will have tons of shortable opportunity when and only we will break that support. So far we have a couple of them, and we talked about it on marketgurus.tv that you can have access for free for 10 days. So what about the sectors that we talked about last week? Which stocks out of them are actually good to take some profits? Well, let's continue. Let's start. First of all, we had oil and equipment service on April 12th. That sector went even lower than that downward corridor. So there are a lot of stocks where you can cash in. For instance, Superior Energy, if you shorted it on April 12th, already making 7%, take some profit. RPC, if you shorted it on April 12th, already taking 4%, cash in. Rowan Companies, if you shorted on April 12th, 7.4%, take some profit. Basic Energy, 7%. And on the commercial and vehicle, there's slightly some room to go before we reach the low of that downward corridor. And there's Navistar International, ever since April 12th, already took 8.27%, so you can cash in. And Oshkosh, well, those of you who are shorted it around here, well, you're making 5.7%, but if you were patient and waited until the stock broke that support around April 15, well, you still have to hold on to it so far. I'll be more patient. I'd wait if I can have a 5% on Oshkosh before cashing in if you shorted it on April 12th. But if you shorted it on April 15, I mean. But if you shorted it on April 12 around this area, you're already making 5.7% and you can cash in. So this is it, folks. And the oil and equipment service, those three stocks are actually stocks where you can take some profits. They're highlighted in S. And in the commercial and vehicle truck, you have Navistar and Oshkosh where you should take some profit. What you should also watch is the gold with UGL and UGLD because technically speaking, we are at a critical point in the gold, and we might have a rebound, and this bullish ETF like UGLD and UGL might give us some nice intraday rebound. But it's not there yet to confirm a bottom, and I think this is what you should watch throughout this week. That said, this was Christian Charlo. See you next week for our market report, and don't forget that you can always subscribe for free for 10 days to MarketGurus.tv just by clicking at the link below. See you soon.